you are going to analyze. See, whenever you are writing a program or designing something, mainly as engineers, you should be careful about the performance of that particular thing, whatever you are designing. So here also, as computer science engineers, your obvious your job is to design software programs. Okay, so before doing that, we'll design the algorithm. We should check how efficient it is performance wise. Okay, based on that, we can say this algorithm is better than something else which is present before you design this thing. Okay, so yeah, I guess all of you have seen the syllabus. In the syllabus, they have recommended 2 textbooks. Okay, both textbooks are required for this subject. And in syllabus, if you observe, for each topic, they have given the name of the textbook. Okay, I hope you have noticed it. Or one second, I will just show you. So you can see here, what is an algorithm? T2 1.1, algorithm specification. T2 1.2, analysis framework. T1 2.1. Okay, they have given like this. T2 T1 is nothing but textbook 1, that is the introduction to analysis, design and analysis of algorithm by Levitin. So T1, wherever they have written, that means that it is textbook 1. T2 means textbook 2, that is from Ellis Horowitz and Sartaj Sani. Okay, this is textbook 2. So for each and every topic, they have mentioned the name of the textbook which you should refer. Okay, T2 1.1, T2 1.2. So you need both the textbook to study this subject. Okay, for every topic, if you observe, till 5th module, they have done like that, T1, T2, T1, T2. In each module, for each topic, they have prescribed one textbook. So what I will do is, both the textbook, that particular topic, I will make the PDF and I will upload it in the Google Classroom. Okay, from textbook 2, this 1.1 and 1.2. Okay, module wise textbook I will divide. I will upload it in the Google Classroom. Is it clear? In the Google Classroom tomorrow, by today or tomorrow, I will upload the textbook for module 1. Okay, in text, like you should understand. Okay, naming itself I will give like that. T1 underscore module 1 means that textbook 1 for module 1. Okay, T2 underscore M1 means textbook 2 for module 1. Okay, I will break the textbook for the specific topics and I will upload it in the Google Classroom. Is it clear? In library, if you have got the textbook, it's fine. Otherwise, soft copy itself, you can study in the soft copy. Okay. So yesterday we were discussing about algorithm. What is an algorithm? Algorithm, it is nothing but a step-by-step procedure for solving any given problem. Okay, whatever problem you take, first thing is we should find out how to solve this problem. What is the procedure? From where we have to start? What is the input? See, and one more thing is in algorithm, you should know what is the input and what is the output. Okay, finite input and output. So that is also very important in algorithm. While writing the algorithm, you have to consider those things as well. What input you are providing to that algorithm and what is the output you are expecting out of it. And again, algorithm is independent of programming language and machine. Okay, algorithm is just a structure you are giving to that problem. Okay, one procedure like how to address that problem that you are giving. So it is not with respect to any programming language. Once you have that algorithm, you can write the program in Python or Java or C or any other languages. Okay, binary search algorithm, you know. You can write the C program for binary search or Java program for the binary search. That is just an algorithm how to uh, perform the search operation in the given list. Okay, list of in the given array elements, how to perform the search, and that we get through binary search. Language of implementation is dependent on the user. So when we talk about algorithm, see again in first module, complete theory is there. Okay, what is algorithm, its properties, what are the things, how to represent the algorithm, and certain basic terminologies we'll study here. Only theory is there. Okay, in first module it is completely theory, and if you sit and study that first module, you'll understand now itself. Okay, just basic theory, there is nothing technical in this first module. Very simple it is. Okay, easily for exam it will be very easy, and you can even score very good number in the first module. Okay, from second module problems will start. We'll discuss algorithms and its related problems. Chances are there you might make the mistake, but just keep in mind, in first module you should never make any mistake. You must always try to score out of out in the first module. Okay, scoring is also very important from your career perspective. Okay, understanding subject is at the one end. You should understand the subject. Okay, you should have knowledge about the topic. That's fine, but scoring is also very important. So first module is all about theory. If you sit and study, you can guess the question. What type of questions you will get in the first module. So it will be very easy for scoring purpose. Okay, you should not miss a single marks in this first module, from this first module, because from second module they will give problems, and in exam, due to tension and all, chances are there you will make mistakes in the problems. For that reason, first module, as it is very simple and just theory is there, you should not miss any single marks in this from this first module. Is it clear? Okay, don't neglect this module. A simple module. Okay, what is algorithm? So properties of algorithm. What should be there in an algorithm? Okay, definiteness, effectiveness, and finiteness. Okay, so what is definiteness? Each instruction should be clear and unambiguous. So when you are writing instructions in the algorithm steps, each and everything should be clear. There should not be any ambiguity. Okay, for example, you should not write add 6 or 7 to x. See, that's not clear. Or compute x divided by 0. These kind of things should not be there in the algorithm. So whatever you are writing, you should know clearly what you are writing, and whoever is reading it, they should be able to understand it very easily. Okay, and never keep any ambiguity in the instructions. Okay, it should be definite. Whatever instruction, whoever is reading, they should understand it very easily. And effectiveness. Each step must be such that it can at least in principle be done by a person using paper and pencil in a finite amount of time. Okay, as I said, there will be steps in your algorithm, and those steps should be very simple, and it must be effective. Simply, you should not go on introducing some steps. Whatever steps you have mentioned in your algorithm, it must be effective. Okay, it should have some weightage, and it should be simple enough so that anyone can implement it using pen and paper. So that is just a concept, okay? Just we are saying that it must be so effective. Don't take it in the literal way, what is everything can't be done using pen and paper like that. We are just saying that it should be effective as well as simple. Finiteness. Algorithm should terminate after a finite number of steps in all the cases. See, you know that when we write algorithm, we'll be trying to cover a lot of situations. And sometimes the two, when you are writing recursive programs or recursive algorithm, what happens is it will go to infinite loop. Usually, whenever we are handling the recursive things, those recursive things should terminate properly. There has to be some terminating conditions. Okay, whenever you are using loops or recursive functions in your program, termination is very important, and it has to terminate in a finite number of steps. Okay, it should not take too much of processor time. So that is very important. And time for termination should be reasonably short. See, when we talk about analysis, like performance analysis of the algorithm, you'll understand what time we are talking about. Okay, when we talk about design of algorithms, we talk about two things, time and space. Okay, again, in the next coming slides, we'll discuss about those things. So that is very important. One of the important things when we are designing the algorithms. Next question is how to represent the algorithms. Okay. Yesterday I asked you to write the algorithm for a chat application. The question was like, I mentioned that just write it in your own language as a descriptive procedure. Okay, is it like enough? Are we going to write the algorithm, represent the algorithm like that? If you write the algorithm like that, it will, like, for simple things, it's okay. Otherwise, most of the people will not understand the language we write. Okay, so one way is to represent it using flowcharts. But flowcharts, again, it will not give us the complete information about the algorithm. So one more way we can represent algorithm is with the help of pseudocode. So in this subject, whenever we are talking about algorithm, we'll represent the algorithm using pseudocode. See, there is no hard rule that you have to write the algorithm using pseudocode itself, or there is no particular format to write the algorithm. Is it clear? There is no right or wrong for algorithms. But in this subject, particularly in this textbook, when he is representing the algorithm, he is using pseudocode. Okay, from syllabus point of view, we shall also use this pseudocode to represent the algorithm. Is it clear? There is no condition that you have to write the algorithm using pseudocode itself. Only from this study purpose, for this subject, or for this syllabus purpose, since we are referring to that textbook, in the textbook he is following pseudocode approach. So we are also using that pseudocode approach to represent the algorithm. Is it clear? It is not compulsory that you have to write the algorithm using pseudocode. Only here for our study purpose, we are doing like that. Okay, because you'll understand why it is better to write the algorithms using pseudocode. See, as I said, to do the analysis, it will be more useful if you represent the algorithm using pseudocode. For that reason, we are representing the algorithm using pseudocode. Okay. So when you are writing the algorithm using pseudocode, we need some conventions, basic conventions, certain syntax. Okay, we shall follow certain syntax so that there will be no confusion while writing the algorithm. Okay. Yeah, basic conventions. It is almost like your C programs. Some basic conventions I will try to mention here. Comments, as you know, it will start with double forward slash. Okay, anything followed by double forward slash until the end of the line, we'll consider it as a comment. See, these are the conventions we are using to represent our algorithms in this subject. Okay, it is not the format or any standard format for representing the algorithm. Only in our subject, for our study purpose, we are using these conventions. Okay, so starting with the comments, double forward slash followed by anything, we'll consider it as comment. Blocks, any blocks like programming block you want to consider, that will be represented using curly braces. Okay, open and close curly brace. So whatever you enclose within these things, we'll consider it as one block statement. And your instruction should end with semicolon. Okay, almost C kind of structure only we are following. Okay, flower brackets represent the blocks in the algorithm and it should end with semicolon. Identifiers. Anyhow, identifiers will use a lot of identifiers in the programs or in the algorithm. It should start with a letter and followed by numbers. Okay, don't start the identifier with the number. Data type, again, integer, float. These data types you can use. Assignment operator. Assignment variable is equal to value. See, assignment operator, while using the assignment, here we are not just using only equal operator. We are using colon followed by equals. Okay, be careful about this thing. Usually assignment means we'll use the equal operator. Here, colon followed by equals. So whenever you are assigning some values, so we are using colon followed by equal. And booleans like true, false itself will represent whenever you do logical or relational operations. Arrays are represented using square bracket, and index starts with 0 itself. Array index starts with 0, square bracket. If you want to access some third row, fourth column element, you have to represent it like this: A of 3, 4. Okay, there is slight difference in the representation. Okay, A of 3, 4. We are not using another two brackets here. Just inside the, again, not small brackets, square brackets. A of square bracket, inside square bracket 3, 4. So this is how we represent array. Loops, again, for, while, repeat, until. That is, instead of do while, we call it as repeat until. Okay, for loop, while loop structure, while you have to mention the condition here, and do statement. Okay, body of the while loop is represented using this curly bracket. See, all these formats, when we start discussing algorithms, we'll be using these things. Easily you'll get to know about these formats. Just I'm giving the introduction here. While variable do, that is less than or equal to, if that condition is true, it will execute statement 1, 2, and n. So inside that, variable is equal to variable plus increment close. Okay, while loop, for loop, for check the condition. If it is true, increment and execute these statements. Okay, for loop. Repeat until. Repeat these statements until this condition is true. Just like do while. Okay, repeat statement 1 to n until this condition is true. Okay, case statement. Switch, instead of switch, we have case. It is represented like this. Not exactly switch we are writing. So case condition 1, if this is true, execute this statement, or this is true, else final. Okay, final statement. If all these things are false, execute this statement, come out of the case structure. So again, for input and output, be careful when you are writing the algorithms. See, usually you have the habit of using printf and scanf. Input means scanf and the that will come to your mind, because you are doing the programming from second semester where you have used printf and scanf. So by mistake also in algorithms, when you are writing any algorithm, don't use printf and scanf. We'll just use read and write. Okay, if it is input, read variable n. If it is output, write n. There is no formats like printf and scanf in algorithms. Okay, these are simple conventions which we can use while writing algorithms. Okay, in this subject. And what about the procedure? See, in algorithm, only one procedure will be there, that is algorithm. So there will be no functions. Procedure is nothing but a function. Only one procedure will be there, that is algorithm. So it will be represented with an word algorithm followed by the name of the procedure, and inside, if parameters are there, inside the small bracket you can write the parameters. Okay, that is how you represent the procedure. Only one procedure followed that is started with the algorithm and its name. See, these conventions, if I go on explaining these conventions, you will not understand, like, until and unless we start writing the algorithm, you will not remember these things. So straight away we shall write the algorithm. Okay, already I have written one algorithm is here. See, all of you see carefully. Okay, so comment line is there. A is an array of size n. So A is an array which has got some values. Assume 4 or 5 elements are there. So these instructions, okay, I want you people to see these instructions and tell me what these instructions are doing. So what is this algorithm is all about? Okay, everyone, I want you to reply what algorithm is this, and send me the answers in the private chat. Everyone, all of you, you should see, this is a simple algorithm. Okay, see, instructions are there, easily you can analyze. Okay, A is an array where I have taken one variable result for which I am assigning the first element in the array, and a loop is there. From the second element, loop has started. Okay, it will loop will run until n element, and if condition is there and something is happening in the if, I am checking something and I am returning the result. So you should tell me what this algorithm is all about. See, very simple algorithm. Everyone has to reply to this. Okay. See, if it is wrong also, it's fine. Please do reply. All of you, you have to reply. Your reply will be considered for attendance. Okay. Whatever it is, whatever answer you get, you just see, analyze, and give me the answer. Okay. Array is there, which has got n elements. Okay. Array is there, which has got n elements. I have taken a variable result, and first value in the array, I am assigning it to the result variable, and for loop starts with the second element in the array. It will run until the for loop will run till the last element. Okay, so if a of I is the first element, second element greater than result, that is, if it is greater than first element, result is equal to a of I. See, think, okay, it is very simple program for which I have written the algorithm. Very simple program. Those who have replied, think again whether whatever answer you have given, is it correct or not. I am reading your answers. Some of you have given the correct answer, others you have made a mistake. Just analyze it again. What algorithm it is. No. See, you are giving the wrong answer. I'm not even displaying anything. This algorithm. See, when we talk about algorithm, we'll not write algorithms to display something. Okay. It is performing some task. This algorithm is performing some task. So what it is? See, among 49 students, only I got the correct answer from 3 students. No, your answers are wrong. Just see the program again, what it is doing. See, it is not displaying anything, any results. It is performing some check and then it is returning that value. No. See, analyze students, okay? Simply you are sending the answers. Just assign some values. Okay, take 4 elements in the array. Take only 3 elements in the array, 1, 2, 3. Okay. Take 3 elements to this array. A is equal to 1, 2, 3. Yeah, correct. Now people are giving the right answers. Take 3 elements, 1, 2, 3. Okay, first result is equal to first element is 1. It will compare the 1 to next element. If next element is greater, result variable will have the second value. See, just 3 iterations, okay? No. Again, you have started giving wrong answers. Okay. See, this is the program. An algorithm to find the maximum in array of n numbers. So this is the program. Algorithm name is max. Okay, maximum element in the array A with n elements. So inputs are array A and n value, 4 or 5 elements. We need n value because for loop depends on this n. So this is an algorithm to find out the maximum element in the given array. Okay, very simple program. See, whenever such things are given, you just take 2 or 3 values, substitute and see what it is doing. See, that is the way to analyze or debug the programs. Okay. Assign the values to, as I said, you take 3 elements to this A value and go on assigning, and you'll easily come to know in the result variable, largest element will be saved. Is it clear? See, I will give 1 more minute. I have 1 more algorithm here. I want you to find out what this algorithm will do. Fast. Only 1 minute time I will give. Okay, m and n value, you take 2 values for m and n. 2 values for m and n. What it is returning? See, these programs will be asked in your placement interviews, okay? Very basic things, very important things. It will be asked in future also. You have done this program. In C, you have done this. Okay, if you learn Python, there also you'll do this program. And again, whenever I ask question, don't post the answer in your class WhatsApp group. Okay. No need to help your friends. They have to analyze these things on their own. See, very simple. Assign two values for m and n. 9, 3. M is 9, n is 3. So if m is 9 and n is 3, what it is returning? So based on that, you'll easily find out what program it is. See, only 10 people have answered. What about others? See, these are the questions which will be asked in your placement interviews as well. You need to understand, you need to participate. Okay, so we are running out of time. This is nothing but Euclid's algorithm, okay, to find out GCD of two numbers. HCF, again, HCF is nothing but highest common factor, same GCD, okay. GCD of two numbers. I am trying to find out GCD of m and n. All right. So this is an algorithm to find out GCD of two numbers. Euclid's algorithm. Anyhow, I will explain this algorithm again in the next class. I just wanted to know how many of you know these things. Is it clear? See, again, today I just covered the basics of this thing, algorithm. Just few notations how to represent the algorithm and what are the properties that should be